Kaibigan, a short story film made by CA0DP13. Made by DP. Proverbs 17:7. A true friend is always loyal, a brother born to help in time of need. Once in a forest deep in the Philippines, inside a cave there lived a poor cyclops named Bayani. Bayani was lonely because nobody would be friends with him because he was so ugly. Whenever he went out to play in the forest, all the fish would swim away, and all the birds would leave their nests in the trees to run away from his hideous face. Finally, he had enough. He vowed to go off on a journey, and he wouldn't return until he had found 3 friends of his own who would accept him for who he was, despite his bad looks. He walked all day until it began to grow darker. Seeing that he needed shelter, he went by to the nearest cabin he saw. Luckily for him, the owner didn't seem to mind him being in there and even invited him to dinner. At the dinner table, the old man introduced himself as Gale. After Bayani explained to him the reason behind his journey, the old man suddenly exclaimed, "Why, I'm lonely too. Ever since my wife died, I've been living here by myself. I can go on your journey with you." Delighted, Bayani consented, and together with the new companion, they set off at the beginning of the next day. Meanwhile, in the background, a deer was running for his life. His name was Edgar, and 2 hunters were after him. He was running when suddenly, one of the hunters raised his gun. Bam! Edgar went down, feeling sharp pain in his leg. Bayani, seeing this, ran up and chased the 2 hunters out. "Eek!" the hunters cried. "It's a monster!" And they ran off. After chasing them off, for some reason Gale was upset. He questioned him, "Why were the hunters so afraid of you?" That's when Bayani realized. Gale didn't know he was blind. Scared, Bayani confessed his true form and asked him if Gale still wanted to be his friend. Gale, hearing this, admired his honesty, and together, Edgar and Gale reaffirmed that they would be his friends, and the 2 friends set off on their journey once again. As they set off on their journey, they heard a sudden cry, "Help! Help!" They looked and they saw in the far distance a worm stranded in the hot sun. That's a worm!" Gale cried out. "If we don't put him into soil soon, he'll dry up and die." Bayani quickly raced over to pick him up. Gently, he placed the worm back into the soil, and immediately the worm was revived. "Thank you," he said. "My name is Walden, and my life is in debt to you." "Well," said Bayani, "if you really feel like you owe me, you could be my friend." "I'd love to," said Walden. And after that, Bayani's journey was over. He had found his 3 friends. He returned to find that now everybody liked him. He quickly became the most popular animal in the forest, and he grew on to live many years without having any more problems with friendship again. And though he lived to be very old, Bayani never forgot his true friends, and the 3 of them lived happily ever after. On his journey, Bayani realized one thing: true friendship isn't based on skill or talent, but on what lies inside.